I am back at work after being out of town for the last 5 days or so. And that out of town process was a place where I was in a retreat mode. So I was doing a lot of internal processing with others, a lot of meditative thoughts, contemplative stuff, some challenges, all the things. But now that I'm back at work, I had kind of a full day today, and meeting with supervisees, social workers, and with clients, and just trying to go through emails and address all the stuff. Um, so it's a little like my head feels like it's swirling a bit. But one consistent theme that's been on my mind today is the idea of vulnerability and identifying and expressing one's needs. Ooh, for women in particular, those things can be really challenging because oftentimes we're raised to not necessarily be assertive. This comes in all kinds of spheres of our lives, but just in terms of our relationships with people, we're often not taught the language, the skills for expressing our needs. A lot of people really struggle with even identifying their needs. What is it that I even need right now in this moment? Um, you may not have the language inside of you to identify needs, much less turn around and be assertive about them and vulnerable in expressing those needs. It's just a poignant issue that so many of us, I'll own that too, really, really have to grapple with on a regular basis. And this can apply to family relationships, friends, not just romantic partners. Certainly it applies in the work and business world too. That's a whole other form of, asking to have your needs met and some of the challenges there. But in terms of just owning up and identifying what it is that you're feeling and needing, and then finding the words to express that, takes such courage for so many people. And again, can create a real sense of vulnerability that's for a lot of people much easier to just avoid. And I'm not gonna talk about what it is I need. I'm not going to ask for what I need because it creates such anxiety and such inner turmoil. Because sometimes it's just too hard to even figure out how to identify the needs, and ask for what you need. So it's easier to just avoid, but obviously that can create a lot of problems down the line with resentment and behaviors that are kind of passive, maybe even passive aggressive, things like that, or depression, or low self-esteem. There's so many things. All of those things can be improved and worked on by starting to identify one's needs, and then coming up with ways of expressing those needs. And the thing is that sometimes you're going to ask for what you need and you may not get it. So the risk is not only in being vulnerable, and somebody may criticize you for what you're asking for. Somebody may say, why are you asking for that? Are you weak? Are you a bad daughter? Et cetera, et cetera. But, there's other kinds of vulnerability that can come. Because somebody may say, no, I'm not going to do that for you. And then what are you going to do? So there's always risk, and there's always vulnerability when it comes to identifying and expressing needs. But that's what's on my mind today. I feel like I've really worked hard on that in my own personal life, but I certainly see that in my office all the time. And whenever somebody does ask for what they need, or use the language that feels assertive and to them, I always talk about the courage and the accomplishment that is, especially for someone whose needs are often not met or not considered, or has no history of, again, being encouraged to express themselves. So I love this topic, and it just happens to be what's on my mind. I will actually today, I'm going to do a little mantra meditation that I practiced today with one of my clients, and I just love this one. And I've probably done it in another video in a different way, or maybe even the same words. I don't know. But I'm going to do that at the end of this video. But the song that I'm going to add to my playlist today is one that's kind of related. It's not real directly related, but when I was flying back yesterday, I was on the last of the 3 flights that it took to get me home, and of what was going on. It was dark, and I was alone in my seat row, and the song came on in my ears that I haven't heard in a while, and it's called Resilience by Rising Appalachia. They're female-led band, more of my kind of folk indie music that I love. And Resilience is a song about, as the name implies, the concept of resilience. But a lot of the song lyrics are about speaking one's truth and living through the difficulties that come with owning what it is that you believe and standing up for what you believe, and resilience in the face of a lot of hardship. Anyway, it's a fun little song, so I'm going to add that to my playlist. And I'm actually going to practice here in this video. Getting back to doing some practicing in these videos, not just talking about it. I'm going to practice a mantra that if anybody who happens to watch this wants to try on their own, I would encourage you to actually write these phrases down and then do them on your own. I am going to do them. And the way that this kind of mantra works is that it's repeating of phrases 3 times. And so if you do it on your own, you don't have to pause between the repeats, but I pause when I lead it because I want the person sitting with me to say back in their own mind silently the phrase that I say out loud. And then at the very end of it, after I've said these 3 phrases 3 times each, this little mantra ends with I need. And the person doing this would say to themselves silently, if they're sitting in the room with me, they don't have to say anything at all. But when a person does this on their own, the idea is for them to say, I need blank, and state out loud what it is they need. And that could be something very concrete, like I need a snack or a nap, or it could be something like a hug, or it could be something kind of a bigger concept, like I need support, I need determination, I need attention, I need whatever. So, but for people who are not used to really identifying their own needs, this exercise can be super impactful and also quite empowering. So I'm going to lead this mantra, and if anybody watching this wants to do this, they can, I'm going to pause after each as if somebody's in there listening. So you can close the computer, close your eyes, and really I find that closing one's eyes for any of these exercises is just impactful because it allows you to really focus and tune out what's going on around you. So take a breath, just let out some tension before you do any exercise like this. Because you're about to state your needs, it's important to feel the support underneath you. So as I do in other exercises, after you've closed your eyes and you start to breathe, I want you to feel the ground underneath your feet giving you support if your feet are on the floor, or I want you to feel the chair underneath you giving you support. I want you to feel strong in your body as you rely on these objects underneath you to support you. And we will begin. And so I'm going to call out these phrases 3 times, and I'm going to pause in between. If somebody is doing this out in the ether, you would repeat this either out loud if you're by yourself or in your head. I am here. I am here. I am here. I matter. I matter. I matter. I am worthy of meeting my needs. I am worthy of meeting my needs. I am worthy of meeting my needs. I need. I need. I need. This is such a simple little mantra exercise. This was introduced to me by the coach that I'm working with, and I've modified it in many ways, and there's so many ways to do this, but I love this one. It can easily be used to describe one's feelings. Sometimes people they don't feel they have a right to feel something, much less identify it and express it. But this is about owning it, identifying and saying, I have a right to meet my needs. I matter. And then stating those needs. Again, if you do this exercise once a day, those needs might vary from day to day to day, but it's good practice to start saying what you need. So, and what I need right now is I need to end my work.